simple tips on making your day more luxurious. This is Gloria with Graciously Gloria. Thank you for joining today. I'm going to share with you some easy tips to make your day just feel nicer, and let's jump in. So first off, when you go into like a nice hotel or a spa and those feel luxurious, so keep those different aesthetics in mind, and I like to do that. So for my bed, I switched out my bedding to nice white bedding with sheets and the silk pillowcase, and I did put a mattress topper, which adds that extra comfort. And I did upgrade this past year to a comforter that's silk. And actually, the thing about that is it's better for dust allergies, which I have a severe dust allergy, so it's also helped with that. But it just looks so nice and inviting. And the other tip that I do is I always just make my bed. It doesn't have to be perfectly made like hospital corners and all that. Just nicely, at least just put, the comforter and the sheets over. And so the bed looks made. And that's just a nice way to start your day. And you feel like you accomplished something and it looks nice to get your day going. Now, the other thing is to think about hydration and really make that more luxurious. Make yourself some spa water. So spa water is the ones you see at the spas that have all the different fruit infused. There's so many different ideas out there. I'll pop in a little short video I recently made to give you some ideas. But they have these different cups here that you can infuse it or just use a pitcher to infuse the water. You want to let it sit at least a half hour to about an hour to get those flavors in there. And it's just a way to make it, more interesting to drink your water, and it just feels like a luxurious upgrade and tastes good too. So the other thing is like a mocktail, and I have different videos I can pop some in of mocktails, because that you can just even make during the daytime. Like I'll make myself one at lunch and enjoy that even during a work day, or make that in the evening too, because especially in midlife, I feel like if I drink alcohol, which I still will have, some kind of drinks on the weekend, for example, that sometimes that affects your sleep. So just having that mocktail feels like extra special and luxurious. When you're at a hotel, one of my favorite things is getting those fresh towels. And so just freshen up your towels. I make sure I do that once a week, but just even having like a nice fresh towel to wash my face with too, or a fresh hand towel, changing those out more often just feels a little bit nicer. The other thing is the ambiance for a shower or a bath. Now, also lighting a candle. When you go in a spa, it just smells so nice. So I love this one. It's Sand and Fog Tanitian Vanilla. Just feels like you're going to be on either baking cookies or like a tropical vacation. So adding that ambiance of a lighted candle would be nice in your bathroom. So for taking a bath, I like to use Epsom salts. Now you can do a DIY. I have a video at Christmas time that I made doing that, or just plain Epsom salts. I keep that in a nice glass jar so it looks luxurious as well and is nice and relaxing to your bath. Some little tips to simply upgrade your shower experience is to use a spray. I love this eucalyptus spray. Not only is eucalyptus great for like your sinuses too, it just smells good. So I give that a spritz when I get into the shower. So I recommend that. I can put the link below for that for you all. And a couple other things I do in the shower to make it feel more luxurious is to do a hair mask. And I like to do that at least once a week. And I've been using this one by Bondi Boost, which is great. And I use also their shampoo and conditioner too. But this one feels good and makes your hair nice and soft. And then I also like to do a body scrub. And I have a couple different ones. I like the one by Caudalie. And I'm using this other one, like a strawberry one that just smells good. So that's a way to elevate your shower experience instead of just the everyday. Even if you're not going to do the hair mask or the scrub for your body, just even giving that spritz just elevates that shower for you. Now, one thing that my sister gave me this tip a while back is use the nicer silverware. You know how when you register like for a wedding and you get that nicer silverware that's thicker? And I was tending to use that more for just holidays and special occasions. And she's like, you know what? Use them every day and it just makes your everyday more luxurious. And I've been using mine now for years and they hold up really well. I mean, not only do they hold up well compared to the cheaper silverware, but then that feels nicer. So I would recommend that, and break out those nicer plates and use those too. And I was always using different, for my cups, like the plasticware that I would get for the kids when they were little. And I don't know, I kept using those for a while. But once I switched to like glasses, which, just were nicer, I have some pink ones, I have some blue ones, just upgrading to that, to put a drink in, even some water in, just feels nicer. What about your clothes? Your clothes do kind of set your mood. I mean, I do love loungewear like everyone else, but just putting on that nicer blouse or adding some accessories like a necklace, it makes your day feel more luxurious. Dress for My Day with Kay has some great tips there. I'm going to do a whole video on just classic styling and capsule wardrobe for classic wear to give you guys some more tips on that. Just dressing up in something a little bit nicer does make your day feel more luxurious. And also a robe. You think about, like, you might update your clothing more often, like get a new shirt or new pants or new shoes. But what about what you sleep in and just a robe that you just throw on when you're cold or after a shower? And so what I've been trying to do is update my robe once a year. I have an option I would just put for you that's inexpensive from Amazon that I got recently. I have another one, and I'll try to find the link for you. I had my husband get for me like at Christmas ago, and that was like a nicer kind of spa robe, just like the kind they have at spas. And I just feel so nice when I wear that. So that's another idea for you. But just considering like what your sleepwear is, getting a nice, cute little matching set for yourself of something, and looking at the robes ideas too. Music can elevate, and just, you know, when you walk into somewhere and they have some nice music playing. So I like so many different kinds of music. I like country music. I like pop music. I love 80s music. But one thing that feels kind of more luxurious is when I put on some piano ballads, and I will do that when I'm taking a bath. And so that's an idea for you. And I can pop a link. There's like different ones on Spotify for you. And another idea is just to upgrade what you have on your TV. So when you're not watching it, they have so many different things on YouTube. Those different background ones, like especially like for the holidays at Christmas, they have ones that show like a cute cafe or an outside area with snow falling and music. But they have those for all year long. They even have ones that have like the ocean, and you can hear ocean wave sounds with some music. Find some ideas of ones that I use there to give you just for like an everyday um, thing. Like I said, I love the ocean ones particularly, and just having that on the everyday with that music and something nice on the TV in the background just feels luxurious. Another thing I do, speaking of music, is I like to listen to music when I'm cleaning. So, cleaning just like boring, and I mean, some people like it. I like the results of it looking nice after, but that elevates my cleaning is to put on my AirPods and listen to some music. Way to elevate your cleaning there. You may not think about exercising as a way to elevate and make that day more luxurious, but you know what? The reason it does that is it boosts your mood. So, especially if you can get outside on a nice walk, I know it's harder for me when it gets colder out to do that, but just getting that fresh air, and it gives your mind a chance to kind of think through some of the things you might be worrying about and kind of get those out of your mind. And it's going to increase your serotonin and your endorphins by exercising. So doing that is going to help your day feel better. Some other simple things that I do are related to my skincare. So to kind of elevate and feel more luxurious, I do some extra treatment. So I have a regular skincare that I do, cleaning and moisturizing and all that. But a facial mask, I like the one by Elemis, and I'll pop the one in there, and it smells good. It's in the pink container, and I like to do that. I sometimes will put that on and do that even if I'm going to clean the house or if I'm going to take a bath and use it at that time. And that's an idea for you. Or like my LED mask, it's just a time to relax as well, and that just feels nice. And so some ideas for you there. Also my gua sha, I have a routine on my gua sha, and when I do that, it just makes my skin feel hydrated, and that just, again, feels lovely. Overall thoughts on making your day luxurious. I hope these were some great tips for you. But just to express your day with some kind of gratitude for things, and that's going to also help you feel better. when you think about all the things that are going well in your life, instead of ruminating on the different things of the world that are stressful or different things in your personal life that are stressful, and just thinking about what are the good things and the positive things and how you can bring that to your day. And I just wish you all wonderful, luxurious days and taking good care of yourself. And that self care is so important. Thanks again for joining. I hope you got a great tip today that you can apply, or some great tips overall. Please consider subscribing and pressing the like button for more great tips.